In the headlines, construction of 13 housing units in Jimmet to create job opportunities for residents of Maho. Salary negotiations between government and the Public Service Union to kick off on Thursday. And an alternative water system for Soufriere as resilience building efforts post-Hurricane Maria. I'm Andrea V with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, employment opportunities for people of the Maho constituency with the Jimmet Housing Development Project in that constituency. Project manager for MMCE gave details of the housing project during a post-budget town hall meeting in Maho Tuesday night.
We've commenced on site, we've done the bulk ordering of the materials, we've completed the structural design for the foundations. And yes, some of you might think, yes, you've seen this building before. Yes, you have, but it's not a copy-paste. I wish in this world we could just copy-paste buildings from one side, the other we can't. We have to do extensive geotechnical explorations first. We have to take into the precise seismic capabilities and support of the ground on each individual site. This is a process that takes up to about 10 weeks. Only once we've done that can we develop the final structural design. So whilst you have an architectural design which looks very similar, each structure is individually designed for the specific location in which it's erected. Next. So we have 3 floors, 10 apartments on each floor, and we also have a community facility on the ground floor which will provide hurricane-proof shelter for people who aren't lucky enough to live in the building. This is a typical 2-bedroom apartment. Each 2-bedroom apartment has 2 bathrooms. It comes with fitted kitchens, and they are fitted out to a good standard. We don't supply the beds, we don't supply the wardrobes. I'm sure you can do that yourselves. 3-bedroom apartments, again, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Big apartments, very large apartments. Everybody's got access to windows, everybody's got access to a balcony. So this is the actual building you're going to be getting, and this is imposed on the actual site in Jimmet.
Construction is expected to be completed in April next year. Timmins told last night's gathering in Maho the contractor was actively recruiting. The other project will be the Maho Health Center.
Maho Health Centre is up behind us on the hill here where the existing building is. And we will shortly be taking possession of that building in the next few days, we hope, clearing the site in order to give this building here. The health centre has 2 beds for short-term stay for patients. It's got a doctor's consulting room. It's got a nurse's consulting room, stroke treatment room. It's got 2 multi-purpose clinics which can be used for whatever the individual health centre in the region decides it needs. We've got a pharmacist stroke vaccine store where drugs can be dispensed. Upstairs we have self-contained accommodation for up to 4 nurses. They've got their own kitchen, they've got a very large living dining room area, obviously bathrooms, and access to a large balcony so they can relax when they're not trying to make people better. Okay. The structure is, again, reinforced concrete. The roof is reinforced concrete. It's hurricane-proof as far as we can make it. We have hurricane-proof windows. We have hurricane-proof doors. It will have hurricane shutters over the windows in addition as well. Again, we are subject to clear possession this week of the building. The overall construction program will take 8 months.
In other top stories, salary negotiations between government and the Public Service Union for the next 3 years to resume on Thursday. Julian Morris has that story.
President of the Dominica Public Service Union has welcomed proposals in the 2019-2020 national budget to provide upward mobility for teachers, but he told Channel 5 News last week the main issue is salary negotiations for the next 3 years. Steve Joseph says public officers are deserving of a salary increase, particularly in light of the impact of Hurricane Maria. These negotiations are coming on the heels of proposals announced by the Prime Minister in his 2019-2020 national budget to facilitate upward mobility in both the teaching and nursing professions. The Prime Minister believes in the case of schools, the administrative structure has not kept up with the times.
What we're proposing as a government to the country is to create a new structure for the secondary schools. So the proposal is that we would retain the post of principal.
Yes.
We will now create 2 positions. So a school like the Boston Secondary School and Grammar School, etc., would have a principal, 2 deputy principals, and 2 assistant deputy principals. And then you would have the position of heads of department.
Yes.
Then you would have the positions of senior graduate teachers, senior qualified teachers.
Yes.
And in between that you will have guidance counselors and people who would provide psychosocial and counseling to students. And the thinking there is that the 2 deputy principals would have no teaching responsibilities. And one would assist the principal in student-related issues and the welfare of students. Okay? So you'll be responsible for the sports department, the welfare of students, the guidance counselors who will be providing care to students. Students have an issue, you know, you will look after that. Students who do not have the economic means, you have to ensure that they have the ability to attend school, etc. And then you have another person, another deputy person who will deal with the pedagogy, the timetabling, the management of staff, the supervision of staff, helping in that. And then you have the 2 assistant deputy principal who would assist the deputy principal in the carrying out of their duties and mandates.
This system would create a scenario where promotions become possible within the secondary school system.
So I could come in as a qualified teacher and find my way up to deputy principal, eventually to principal position.
Yes.
So I could move from qualified teacher to senior qualified teacher, and that senior qualified teacher would come maybe a couple of days after you would have been in the deputy in a position, and so that there's seniority. There's rank and seniority. Okay? Because as it is now, there are people who have been retiring in the teaching service in the same position they came in 30 years ago. And they, you know, it robs these teachers of a sense of pride and a sense of accomplishment and a sense of mobility.
The Prime Minister believes such changes will also help students, giving them greater access to the guidance they need.
In more developments, an alternative water system on the cards for the coastal community of Soufriere. This as the southern communities of Soufriere, Scottsted and Gallior continue to build resilience following Hurricane Maria. Project Manager of Resilient Dominica, ResDM, Simon Walsh, says a backup water supply is on the cards as that necessity was brought to the fore by Hurricane Maria.
Water is a concern here. We're lucky enough in Soufriere that we do have a spring supply. So where Dowasco currently collect their water, there is an underground spring. Unfortunately, what happens is that, especially after Maria, and we don't really know what's going to happen again because the combination of Erica and Maria was a deadly combination where Erica, weakened some of our mountains and our valleys so that when Maria's rain came through, we got a lot of flooding. So the springs, the underwater springs, were covered in mud and debris after the hurricane. So it took a while to get those dug out.
The hope is that another water system will be erected on the compound of the new primary school.
We're hoping that there's going to be a new primary school built in the compound of the new primary school. And we want to put a large cistern either underneath or next to that, which will collect water off the school rooftops, and you'll be able to store about 15,000 gallons, which would get you through the immediate needs after the storm. So that's the conceptual plan that we have right now. We are getting a new water project here in Soufriere, mainly because of Jungle Bay, where the water's coming up and over, all the way from Pichelin over to Tetmon coming down, and so there'll be a new pipeline coming in. But I think we need to encourage the fact that the old water supply and the old spring needs to be maintained as well, because that'll be, if you want resiliency, you need backup water supply.
On to the fisheries sector. Minister for Agriculture, Food and Fisheries says government is now focused on helping fisher folk restore their business.
We're seeking to restore the livelihoods of some 85 fishermen all across the country. And you play a very important role because in the pre-Maria period, we had brought on shore 1.5 million tons of fish. Post-Maria, the record shows that we have brought in over 2 million tons of fish in this country through the hard work of the fishermen from Maho and all across the country. Our fishing complexes were totally destroyed and damaged. And just on the 18th of this month, the Japanese will be here to sign the agreement for the restoration of the Roseau, the Portsmouth, and the Marigot fishing complex. I am not at liberty to disclose the sum because it's still, people have to bid on it, and so you cannot put on the price there, so people will know what figure the Japanese is looking to spend. But I can say to you, it is quite substantial, and it will modernize our fishing sector. Because what we intend to do with these new facilities is to make them more processing friendly. That will not be, because we are now catching enough fish in Dominica to feed ourselves. And if the investment we're going to be making in the fishing sector, then we will have enough fish to export to other countries, and we're working on that.
The minister says sale of processed fish will be a priority and boats will be provided for the fishermen. Under a newly launched World Bank Livelihoods project, selected fishermen will receive about $30,000 to reconstruct their boats.
We're also hoping that we'll be able to develop a boat building industry. And so we're also making provisions under that project to support our boat builders, because we have quite a few talented boat builders in this country. And the intention is that we'll not import any foreign boats. We have our own local boat builders produce those boats, and they will receive support also under this particular program. We'll also be restoring the canoe sector, because that is very important for your balao and your kaya and your kuliu, which is very nutritious fish. Don't worry about this big tuna and so on. Stick to your broth, your fish water. That does the trick for you as it does for me. So we'll ensure that we'll allow you, through the building of those canoes, that you will be able to continue your traditional form of fishing. And of course your fiberglass boats and so on. We will give the boat builders material to construct their sheds, to construct their facilities, and also to rebuild the jetties and the slipways and all the infrastructure that goes with the fishing sector.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Les moun ki ni TB estene e ben tousse, moun ki en bonne santé oli wen ka respire se vermine la. Moun ki pa ni bon tempérament kon sa ki ni maladie HIV, alcool, kafine, ti mamay e grand moun bien sensible pour ces maladies ça là. Moun ki ka tousse ni pou prendre précaution le yo en parmi moun en place publique. Couvre bouche ou le ka estene tousse. Visitez docteur e ben place santé. Fini tout traitement yo ba ou sa joine guérison et puis maladie TB. En responsabilité ou aider du bout si men maladie TB et HIV. Protéger corps et les autres.
Helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Welcome back. Member of Parliament for the Maho constituency, Rayburn Blackmore, says the construction of 33 housing units in Jimmet is indicative of the Labour Party's commitment to housing post-Hurricane Maria.
Blackmore told a post-budget town hall meeting in Maho Tuesday night the DLP administration was the first in Dominica's history to make the level of investment currently being made in the housing sector. Housing efforts in Jimmet will be extended to other parts of the constituency, including Layu Park, Taru, and Canefield. Serious attention has also been placed on road rehabilitation in the constituency.
We have much more work to be done, but in the Maho constituency, in terms of road rehabilitation, we have done a remarkable job, my dear friends, in that regard. We had some issues in Canefield. You drive and you slide on 1st Street, 2nd Street, 1st Street, and 4th Street. You slide on 8th Street, 11th Street, 21st Street. Every road is completed in Canefield East. We're doing the last one.
Upper Belfast, River Estate, Chercol Massac, and Desport are all expected to benefit from road rehabilitation efforts.
The Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce is confident that the first ever STEM curriculum in the country will be successful. Julian Morris has more.
The pilot project of the Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics STEM program came as a result of a commitment to action by the DAIC and the Clinton Global Initiative CGI. The project is scheduled to start in the 2019 academic year at the Arthur Waldron Academy in Glenvilla, Portsmouth. Executive Director of the DAIC, Lisa Fabian, says the success of this project depends on the generosity of contacts made through networking with the CGI.
What we're doing through this initiative is to connect to any individual who can support. Thus far, we've connected with Diaspora, who will be lending their support in connecting with everyone who possibly can support this. We are pulling, or we are requesting, encouraging the support of our brain bank. We don't say brain drain, but our brain bank from the diaspora to support this initiative. We know that there are lots of engineers, but also scientists who know what's happening internationally and what the trends are. And we want to ensure that our schools in Dominica can be as advanced as the other schools, because we are brilliant in the Caribbean, and we can solve problems that will help our lives to be better in Dominica.
The expectation is to have the STEM project replicated in other schools across the country.
What this initiative will be doing is looking at a robotics camp, a science week, and a mathematics week to be able to help the students to understand that we can actually solve problems that we face. We are pulling on any resource that we can get to help with the curriculum, develop the curriculum that will not just be for this year, but that can be used for subsequent years as the students grow older, but also to be shared through the Ministry of Education that all our schools will be up to standard. From all the recent meetings, even with the CGI, we saw through side sessions that other countries are advancing and they're having different initiatives. And there's no reason why we should be at the back, especially as we want to be the first climate resilient country.
Fabian pointed out that the development of a STEM program in schools will lead to several benefits for the country.
In being climate resilient or being a resilient country, then our educational system, but also in terms of the labor markets or human resource that we are developing in Dominica. If we develop these type of high potential and high growth individuals in Dominica, we can have even better businesses, a stronger private sector, more resilient private sector. So it's all intertwined with the advancement of the private sector, but also developing our educational capacity in our high schools, but in academia in Dominica.
The training of parents and teachers in the STEM is also a component of this project.
Labour Party candidate for Roseau North, Joseph Isaac, has denounced the opposition leader's approach in dealing with important matters to the country's development. Appearing as a guest alongside Prime Minister Skerrit on Kyrie's Heng following the presentation of the 2019-2020 national budget, the former UWP senator said Mr. Linton's approach was a key factor in his decision to leave the UWP prior to Hurricane Maria.
We have seen where Lennox Linton is showing a lack of understanding of public finance, a lack of understanding of how the economy runs, and also he has shown a malicious approach, a dishonest approach, and an unresearched approach to dealing with issues that confront us in this country. So once and for all, I want to tell people this was one of the reasons, even before Maria, that I'd already indicated that I would not run for the United Workers' Party. Because I saw that a lot of times things are not done properly by the leader of the United Workers' Party.
Mr. Isaac is reaching out to those who supported him as a UWP senator to join him and the DLP administration for the sake of the country.
I just want to make an appeal to Dominicans here and abroad. We were damaged by Hurricane Maria. People know my background from where I come from. I made a decision after Maria to give Dominica the support and to give full support to the Honorable Prime Minister. I'm appealing to a number of people. Some of them would consider themselves to be independent people in terms of politics. They don't say that they support any party or another party. So I call them the independent. I'm appealing to you, and I'm also appealing to a lot of people who supported me when I was on the United Workers' Party side. I'm appealing to you to come on board with me, to join, to help Dominica, to come on board with me, to give the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit the support.
And media practitioners cautioned on the integral role they play in times of disaster. The reminder came from National Disaster Coordinator Fitzroy Pascal during a one-day workshop with media professionals, ODM representatives, and Met officers. Pascal says the workshop paves the way for a better relationship between the media and the relevant authorities, hence a greater chance of more accurate information being disseminated to the public.
I know sometimes, especially at the peak time, just before an impact, that's when the media chooses to call and ask all sorts of questions. So I think now is the opportune time to have this sort of interaction to set the foundation going forward for a smooth relationship between disaster management and the media. The media is an integral part of disseminating information to the general public from the specialists like the Met Institution and the Disaster Management Institution.
Senior Met Officer Marshall Alexander urged media practitioners to hone their skills when reporting on natural disasters.
My hope is that it will help to discuss and resolve some of the issues, concerns of communication and messaging we encounter in our interaction with each other, such as use of the language that suits the audience, never defeating the purpose or the key message, difficult or out-of-line questions, misquoting, etc. Now, we need to develop a relationship between the media and the disaster organizations, and we need to be saying the same thing. We need each other with the goal to providing timely and credible information for saving lives and property as we seek to become the first climate resilient nation in the world.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, the headlines again. Construction of 13 housing units in Jimmet to create job opportunities for residents of Maho. Salary negotiations between government and the Public Service Union to kick off on Thursday. And an alternative water system for Soufriere as resilience building post-Hurricane Maria. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.